All righty, let us continue and kick off and get into it. It's nice to have you, Nikita. What I've got today is a training that a lot of people have gone through, loved it. It will give you back an hour a day, and it's specifically for those people in and around small business. So it's right up the Certum accountant's alley. And what we'll do is we will, I'll share my screen, go like that, and hit that button. Give us a thumbs up if you can see the screen. Hey, see, look, it does work. It's even got your name on it. Certum Accountants. Where did he get that logo? I wonder. All right, let's continue and get on with it. Stop your whiffle waffle, Les. Get on with it. It's supposed to be giving me back an hour a day, getting me focused. Come on, pay attention. All right, here we go. Nikita, a little bit about me. David knows about me, but you may not. It's like, why sit in an hour's training with me? I've been training for over 30 years, big companies and small. Some of the big companies you know, like Rip Curl, Cats, Combank, Australia Post, RSCV, Hello World, and some of the big unis, the staff at the unis, Deakin, Tas University, RMIT. So all the way from the top end of town, all the way to the bottom and anywhere in between. And my speciality is productivity and time management, but I also have a background in customer service, leadership, sales, communication, team building, etc. It's about what makes people effective. I wrote a book called Get Back an Hour in Every Day, and it was very well received to the point where it put me on the Today Show with Carl and Georgie when they were an item. So that was a lot of fun. I also have written for the Carousel magazine, Spark magazine, and a regular contributor to Inside Small Business with Tim Laddams, the editor of Inside Small Business. So that's a bit of a background of me as to what my credentials are in this area. So some of the material that you will cover today is familiar. Some of it will be excitingly fresh and you go, where did that come from? But the key to the whole training will be putting it into action. So both yourself and David and those watching as a replay, what we need to do is take the information and put it into action. It's not a knowledge fest. It's not, oh, that was really nice. It's no, here are the actions that are coming out of it. Here's what I'm going to do with it. Here are the changes I'm going to make. And that's what we'll get to at the end of today. I'll actually ask you what your action plan is. What are the key things that you learned through the training? And what's the action plan from here? What are you going to do with it? All righty. Have a look at those. There's some of the productivity killers. Self-overload, procrastination, constant interruption, clutter and paperwork, indecision, unproductive communication, overwhelm, messy desks, distractions, lack of focus. So they kill your productivity. They're the stuff that happen in corporate all the time, in small business all the time. And that's why people struggle. You may be struggling with quite a few of those. I've had people say, yep, I've got all of those, Les. And I go, no wonder people are stressed. No wonder people have anxiety because this sort of stuff is going on. What you do have in this training is we're going to cover off 4 things: clarity, email and paperwork, systems, and productivity hacks. So they're the things that are available to us in this training. So Thomas Leonard said we've got 3 problems: lack of boundaries, insufficient language, and incompletions. And what is an incompletion? Well, it's one of those things that it becomes a real problem in our lives. So let me explain what an incompletion is. The guy that trained me, his name was David Allen, and he has this cycle of productivity where you have an idea and then you start it and then continue it and then finish it, and you finish it and then acknowledge it. That's the cycle, because once you acknowledge, you can then go into starting something again. That cycle, if it's broken in any place, it creates an incompletion. something that is not complete. There is a challenge or a problem with having incompletions. So the examples that would be relevant for a lot of people would be piles of paper on a desk, or expense reconciliation, or stalled projects, or broken promises, or unreturned calls, emails, flooded email inbox, or unscheduled meetings. There's some examples of incompletions. The thing with this is you pay a price for those incompletions, whether you know it or not. And some of those prices that you pay are things like guilt, resentment, lack of motivation, lethargy, I don't want to go near the thing, task avoidance, anger, bitterness, confusion, stress, anxiety, lack of innovation. They're the stuff that you don't want. That's what happens with incompletions, whether you know it or not. They're the stuff that you don't want. Well, what do you want? I want more energy, Les. I want more power, more achievement, more motivation, satisfaction, creativity, goal attainment, the ability to move forward, sense of control. I just want control back in my life, Les, please. Can you just help me get control back? Yes, I can. I want more clarity, more focus, more peace, more empowerment, more freedom. They're the stuff that we want. And they are available when you start to get a handle on completing things that are incomplete, actually rounding things out. So, given that, we are going to put this stuff into practice. And what's going to happen is I'm going to read out a list of words that may trigger inside of you some things that are incomplete. I want you to write down the things that it triggers inside of you that are incomplete. And I'm going to do two lists. I'm going to do a list of work and a list at home. And it's the sort of thing that as I read it out, don't write down what I say, but write down what it triggers inside of you. An example would be, if I do the home, just as an example, if I said the word garage, don't write down the word garage. Write down don't write down the sneeze, but I'm glad I muted because that would have just blown everybody's speakers out. If I said the word garage, don't write down the word garage. Write down what triggers inside of you when I say garage. So if I said it to me, I'd go, well, there are three things incomplete in the garage. I bought 2 shelves and I only built one of the shelves. I need to build the second shelf. So I'd write down build second shelf. I need to unpack some cardboard boxes and put them into plastic tubs. There's another one. And I've got some audio gear I need to pack away that are sitting there. Oh, and now that I think of it, I need to pack down some of the cardboard packing boxes. So there's 4 things. So I'd write down those 4 things. From one word, write down what's incomplete. And I'll be doing work and I'll be doing home. So you get a sense of those incompletions. And I'm going to go fairly fast. And I'll give you, later on, I'll give you a link of what those incompletions are, a link to an audio of those incompletions of me actually saying this list in a more relaxed fashion. And you can play it at your leisure and just go through and kind of pause it each time and write down, then take a minute on each of them and just write it down and then start it again and write it down and start it again. So do it at your leisure. So, are you ready, Nikita?
Yes.
Fabulous. Mr. Cooper, are you ready?
Oh, sure I am.
Good. I'm not ready. I need to get a drink of water. Hold that thought. Ah, that's better. All right. Here we go. So with work, we'll do the work ones first. So what projects have you started at work but not completed? Write down the list of things that are incomplete. Anything you've thought of and not started, started and not continue, continue not finished, finished not acknowledged. Any projects that need to be started at work. And again, I'm going to go through these fairly rapidly. You may not catch everything, but write down some of the things. What is on your desk that is incomplete? What's around your desk that's incomplete? Do you have a messy desk drawer? All good, David. Are there commitments or promises you made to other people? Could be internal or external in the business. You need to initiate or respond to any phone calls, emails, voicemails, texts. Is there any feedback you need to deliver, David? Is there any feedback you needed to receive? Is there any other writing you need to finish or submit? Any articles you need to write? Are there meetings that need to be set or requested? Is there any planning or organising that you need to do? So formal planning, goals, targets, objectives, any current projects that need to plan, next steps for, next stages for, or upcoming projects that you need to plan for. Do you need to plan a business plan? Create a marketing plan? Is there anything around administration that you need to complete? Anything around marketing or promotion or PR, sales and customer service? Anything around systems at work, phone systems, computer system, security system, filing system, your own filing, storage, on-site storage, off-site storage, cloud storage. Is there something around office equipment or supplies that need to be handled? Anything around office organisation, furniture, decorations? Anything you're waiting for? So information that you might be waiting for, material you might need, or information somebody else needs. Have you delegated tasks to someone? Or projects to people? Is there any professional development that you need? Is there such a thing as Certum accountants' professional wardrobe? And if not, why not? Do we need shirts? Do we need jackets? Second last one, what have you told somebody else you're going to do in the business? And what have you told yourself that you're going to do at work? Right, that completes our work one. And hopefully you've got lots on there. If I've muted everyone just for the sake of it, but if you have a question, just unmute yourself and ask the question as we go through. We're going to move now into the home, which works out very similar to the work one. And the reason I put it in is because it does have an impact on your work, the stuff that happens at home. A lot of people don't realize it, but it does have a huge impact at work. So starts out the same. What projects have you started at home but not completed? What projects need to be started at home that haven't been? Are there commitments or promises you've made to others at home? Could be a spouse, could be a significant other, could be children, could be family, could be extended family. The one that I like is friends. We should catch up. That's an incompletion. Write that down. Just write down their name. Have you borrowed anything from somebody and not given it back? Have you loaned anything to someone and it hasn't come back? Write that down. Are there projects in between home and work, somewhere you serve, somewhere you volunteer? Could be some service organization, community organization, could be church, could be spiritual, could be a club, could be an association. Is there anything there that's incomplete? Any communications you need to make or get? Family, friends, initiate or respond to any phone calls, emails, texts, WhatsApp, Facebook Messenger. You need to clean up any relationships. Are there people you need to encourage or support? Make peace with, get wise counsel from, apologize to, resolve a conflict with, forgive. The people you need to forgive is a major energy drain, is a lack of forgiveness. Are there any hard communications you need to have where you don't want to? There's the place to go. Have the hard conversations. Are there any upcoming events, special occasions, birthdays, anniversaries, weddings, graduations? You need to plan any holidays, time off. What are you going to do on a holiday, on the break? Are there any social or cultural events happening that you want to be a part of? Sporting events, places you want to go, people you want to see. What about your own admin at home? What do you like with your own admin, your own bills, your own tax, your relationship with the bank, your investments, debts or loans that you might have, your insurances at home, your own filing, your estate? Do you have a will? Are you waiting on anything? Is there a mail order, Amazon, eBay, Gumtree, Etsy, anything you've sent off for repair that hasn't come back? That's an incompletion. Write it down. All right, anything around the home. So come into the home. So if you're looking at from the outside, you're looking at the roof, the outside of the house, landscape, driveway. Come up to the front door, anything around that area. Go inside, walls, floors, ceiling, anything around air conditioning or heating. plumbing, electricity. Go through into the living room. Anything incomplete there? Bathrooms. Under the bathroom sink is a good one. Under the kitchen sink is another good one. Under the laundry sink is another good one. The pantry is another good one. Are you happy with the pantry? The cutlery drawer. Anything around, well, in the kitchen, anything around appliances or light bulbs, wiring, torch, candles. No. Laundry, washer, dryer, vacuum. Are there places in the house you need to clean or organize? Sitting in your TV room or lounge room, TV, VCR, DVD, Foxtel, Stan, Netflix, Apple TV, Prime, anything around TV. Do you need to buy a TV, get rid of it? Music, CDs, tapes, vinyl. Where are you with your own music? Spotify, Apple Music, camera, film. Have you backed up your photos on your camera, on your film, on your phone? Do you have a camera? Do you need to get the camera out? Do you need to use the camera? Do you need to sell the camera, buy a new camera? Are you into sports? Is there sports equipment that you need to handle? Closets, wardrobe, clothes. Do you need to go through all your clothes, get rid of certain things? They say that you only wear 20% of the clothes 80% of the time. So therefore, there are things that you can let go of. Anything need tailoring? Do you need more shoes? There's that word garage. Is the garage relevant for you? If it's not a garage, it could be storage. Then you go backyard, lawnmower, anything outdoors, anything yard. Car, so vehicle. Do you have a car? Do you have a motorbike? Is it serviced? Do you have a bicycle? Is that serviced? You need to get the bike out. Do you need to buy a bike? Anything you need to purchase, anything you need to give away. Then you get really personal and go, what about healthcare? When's the last time we went to the doctor? When's the last time we went to the dentist? When's the last time we, of the glasses variety, went to the optometrist? Podiatrist, any specialist? Nutrition, how are you with your vitamins, minerals, supplements, exercise, gym, weights, cycle, rower, running, walking, mini tramp, whatever it might be? Maybe you've got a hobby. Maybe it could be books you want to read or movies you want to watch or golf or collecting certain things in albums. Are there any errands you need to run? Hardware store, chemist, supermarket, bank, office works, anything around the community, neighbourhood, schools, local government, or community issues. All right, and that brings that to a halt. There's a lot of people have varying things. If you unmute, tell me what's going on inside of you having done that. Nikita, what is it? You feel good or bad having done that?
I feel good, and I realized that I have tons of things that I should have done, but I didn't. So
Yep.
it feels good that I wrote it down.
Good.
It's
David,
like
what about
having a
you?
list.
Yeah, look, similar. I've got heaps of things, both work and home, that could or should be done. It's a case of, well, I'm not going to say doing them, but prioritising the importance.
Yep. But the thing with the list is often people get to the end of that exercise and go, I felt fine coming in and now I feel like crap because I've got so much to do. And it's funny because I didn't give it to you. All I did was drain the swamp, and what's left is the incompletions. And the other side is what Nikita said was, now I know what I need to do and get all energized. So both of those can be going on at the same time. And I'm not going to leave you. I'm going to give you the next steps. So continue along. The first thing to do, not now, but later, is categorize those incompletions. You categorize the incompletions, go through the list, not now, but later, and you go, are there certain things on the list that I'm never going to do? David, it's been on the list, mate, for 14 years. It's time to let it go. I don't want to let it go, Les. It's my favorite project. And it's like, but you haven't done anything in 14 years. So given that, when are you going to let it go? Because if you let it go, you can open it up to allow yourself with that energy to move on to other things. And people go, oh yeah, I have. So either do it or let it go. Some things you need to delete. Then from that 2-minute jobs, there are certain things that take you just 2 minutes and you get a whole stack of those done and you end up on the flywheel of, wow, I'm getting all productive. I'm doing this. This is great. So what are the 2-minute jobs? And go through the list and go highlight what are the twos. And then single action items are longer than 2 minutes and not a project. Longer than 2 minutes, not a project. So, for example, a library book. So grab the library book, put it in the car, go to the library, put it through the slot, and come back is longer than 2 minutes. Can you do other things while you're out? Yes. However, it's one of those things that as a singular item is longer than 2 minutes. So it's a single action item. The difference between a single action item and a project is the project has lots and lots of single action items in it. And a lot of people go, I'll just do the garage. And they open the garage door and look and go, yeah, nah, and close it again because they think it's a single action. It's not, it's a project. So they need to buy tubs, they need to buy shelving, they need to get organized to then go, what's the single next action that I can do for the garage? And it's exactly the same with any project. If you ever get stuck, you can ask yourself, what are we trying to achieve? And what is the single next action that I want to do on this project that I can take right here, right now? And there's always something, always. And then on the back end of those things that you've always wanted to do and haven't done, it's the someday maybe, the someday I'll, what I call not business critical that you can do in the future. Like I'll take a combi van and go up the east coast of Australia, or I'll visit the, what are we talking about? The Great Ocean Road and go down that one for 5 or 10 days. So I'm not going to do it right here, right now. I'm not even going to do it this year, but can I put it into next year and do that planning for next year? So I'll put it on the Sunday maybe list and come to it when I'm doing my planning. So that's your categorization. Once you've got it out of your head down onto paper, categorize it. So you know what sort of things you're going to be doing. Then from there, you need to contextualize it. In what context will you be doing that action? What actions are you going to do it at home? What actions are you going to be doing with clients? What actions are you going to be doing with the team? What actions are you going to be doing at the supermarket? We've all got it called the shopping list. So you write it on the shopping list, and when you get to the supermarket, you pull out that list and do what's on that list. That's a context. Same with the chemist. I'll write it on the chemist list. When I get to the chemist, I'll buy these things from the chemist. Or Bunnings. That's another one. When I go to Bunnings, I'll do these things. And you go in with 3 things and you come out with 30. It's like, how did I do that? But that's a context. What am I going to get done while I'm in that context? And you write it on that list. So those 2 things, once you get it out of your head, down onto paper, categorize and contextualize. Categorize and contextualize. And that will bring great clarity and enable you to act on them and get stuff done. Well, the question I always ask is, where does that list live? It needs to live in what I call a trusted system. And I don't mind if it's a paper-based trusted system or an app-based trusted system. It needs to be in the one place, just in one place. Whether it's a planner or an app, somewhere that you trust, somewhere that you know that if you take it out of your head and put it down, it's in the one place and it will get done. So for me, this thing, it's a file of facts, is my paper-based trusted system. And I'm going to do both. I'm going to do paper-based, I'm going to do app-based, and show you some examples of what trusted systems look like so you can get an idea of what it might be for you. And I'll come to the apps in a minute. I'll do the paper-based first. My paper-based system has two parts to it. The first half looks at calendar, and the second half looks at, areas of responsibility. So let's just look at what that would look like in a paper-based system. For example, there's a year at a glance, from there into a month at a glance, and then the secret of your success is determined by your daily agenda. Thank you, Mr. Maxwell. It comes down to a day at a glance. On the left-hand side, you've got appointments, where I need to be, when and where. Beside that, I've got tasks, what I need to do to be completed today. And on the right-hand side, I'm taking any notes, and it's in one place. It's not all over the place. It's not here, there, and everywhere. It's just in the one place. So if I need something, I can refer to my trusted system. So the thing around the focus that you're after, it can come from a trusted system. You're writing it down and doing what you say you're going to do. You're looking at it going, this is what I need to do. Now, we all know that clients will ring up and give us other things, and that'll come over the top, and you need to juggle it. Do you do it today? Do you do it tomorrow, next week? Like, what's the priority? What needs to get done today based on timeframes and certain government stipulations? These ones need to get out the door before midnight. Okay, well, we need to stay back and do them. Or, no, I don't need that. I need that next week so I can put it off. But do what you said you're going to do today. What happens with tasks in the day, I always talk about prioritization. Because people go, I don't know how to prioritize. Prioritization is really easy. Really easy. All you need to do is go, of all the things on my list today, which ones, if they don't get done, the brown smelly stuff will hit the round twirly thing? Which ones, if they don't get done, the shit hits the fan? What if it doesn't get done will cause the business to lose money, or I'll lose a client, or I'll lose face, or lose relationship? They become the A priorities. Everything else becomes a B. When in the day do you do an A priority? As soon as you can. The first thing. I'll come to it later, planning each day the day before. But as you start your day, you're doing your A's first. You do your A's first. You do your A's as soon as you can. So that you don't have that situation of, for example, finishing the day, got the jammies on, about to put your head on the pillow and go, oh no, I haven't paid that bill. Because if you don't pay the bill, it costs you extra $150. So you get out of bed and go and have to pay it. That's something that slipped between the cracks. Should have been an A and should have been done in the morning. A's and B's. B's are anything that's not an A, that are nice to get done, and if you don't get it done, that's okay. Will some of the B's turn into A's tomorrow? Yes, they will. And that's okay. Deal with what needs to be dealt with today and allow the rest to go. If it turns into an A for tomorrow, then we'll deal with it tomorrow. So there's the prioritization. It will look at boundaries, and I'll talk about that in a moment. But really, looking at the prioritization, get your A's out of the road early and allow the extraneous and the unexpected and the interruptions to come into the second part of the day. A lot of businesses will say, we don't get anything done with external until the A's get out of the road. It's like, yep, and clients end up saying, if you need me, call me in the afternoon. If you need me, call me in the afternoon. If you need me, call me in the afternoon. And the reason being is you get your A's out of the road in the morning, and they know you're actually training your clients to fit into the schedule of ring me in the afternoon, ring me in the afternoon. Is that good? Yes, you bet it's good. Why? Because you are in control of your time. It doesn't have to be at the beck and call of the client. unless, of course, it's super urgent, you need to get in something by 12, then absolutely. But we all have the gatekeeper, and Margaret can handle those sorts of things. But the rest of it is, yep, I'll get him to get back to you this afternoon. I'll get her to get back to you this afternoon. So there's your prioritization. Now, from the front half of the diary planner, from the front half of the planner to the back half of the planner. And the back half looks at your areas of responsibility, the pies that you have fingers in, where you have leadership, and the ones for me, and I kind of just open it up so you can see it. The tabs for me in my system are Get More Time, Invoicing, Marketing, Entrepreneurs Geelong, Fitness, Personal and Finance. On the back end of those, the two others, Talk E-commerce and Tourism and Church. The reason I have all of them, there they are together. The reason I have all of them is they are the areas I have leadership in. They're the pies that I have fingers in, where I'm going to have meetings, I'm going to have discussions, I'm going to have actions, I'm going to have responsibility. So I need to have it in my trusted system. So when I go to meetings, I can write them in one place. And in writing them in one place, they don't get lost. So that it enables me to be on my game with anything that comes out of a meeting. I think that's around about it on that, for a trusted system. People often tell me, it's like, Les, but I've moved on from paper. I'm an app person now. And I go, that's fine too. Not a problem. I don't mind apps. Apps are good. But which app? AnyDo, Asana, Centrello, EasyNote, OneNote, Google Keep, Trello, Remember the Milk, Evernote, OmniFocus, Todoist things. And the list goes on and on and on. Which app works? The one that you work. Why are there so many? Because they have nuances for each of them. You need to pick one that works for you. Maybe revisit some of them. One that works for a lot of people is OneNote. Why? Because it's a part of the Microsoft suite. You get Microsoft Word, Microsoft PowerPoint, Microsoft Excel, and Microsoft OneNote. And it works for a lot of people. And they go, wow, I didn't know this. So here, let me give you a bit of an understanding. Just like that, my planner being a notebook, you can see there's the notebook, and then the notebook had the tabs, and you saw my tabs, and in the tabs are the pages. If I was to translate it into from the paper-based system to an app, it would look like this. Here's the work, where you've got Get More Time, Deakin University, Marketing, Writing, BBG, Antonio Seed, my wife's book, Mentoring, and Localized. And the pages that down the right-hand side refer to Get More Time. So you can do notes, you can do pictures, you can do Excel spreadsheets, you can do a whole stack of things in OneNote in the one place. I really encourage you to have a look at OneNote. I've got one there for work. I've also got one there for reference, where I've got MacBook and mobile plans and Magna, second car, insurance, info manual, certificates, etc. And I've got one there for finance, where you've got tax overview and banking and e-tax and shares and super and family trust, and the list goes on. So have a look at what they are for you. I'd always encourage people to brainstorm, what are the areas of responsibility in my life, and do I need it in a paper-based, am I a kinesthetic paper-based person, or can I then move that into an app, and what's going to work? And you've got OneNote, you've got Evernote, you've got Notion, it's like more and more and more apps, and you just need to pick one and work it. Work the app that works for you. All righty. So we're halfway through, a bit over halfway through. Is this ringing true, Nikita? Are you getting some value so far?
Yes.
Good. Are we hitting any marks, David Cooper? Are we getting what you played?
You are, and look, I'm interested in those apps. I'll have to have a good look at them. I guess one of my problems is, I'll take a phone call wherever I am and make a note on a scrap piece of paper. So therefore, I've got lists all over the place.
Yeah, and you're not alone. You're not alone, David. Lots of people do it, and when we'll talk about that at the end, but just make an asterisk on that one. I'll come back to it. Good, good. All right, dealing with email and paperwork. The thing with email and paperwork is it can be a bane in a lot of people's lives. I was working with one guy recently, or it wasn't recently, but one guy, and he had 6,000 emails in his inbox. And he said, you need to come and sort out my email. I said, okay. So I went to his office and showed me, and he had the 6,000. I said, so let me ask you this. How many of those 6,000 are relevant? So about 20, actually currently relevant, about 20. So great. Create a folder over to the left in the folders, in your Outlook, and label it demilitarized zone or 2020, whatever it might be. And I want you to leave the 20 and get the 5,980 and transfer them into that folder. You're not deleting them, you just take them out of your eyesight. Now, I haven't gone anywhere. Don't kind of catch your breath, I haven't gone anywhere. Just transfer them over there. And when he did that, he was left with 20 emails. So from the 20 emails, he actually said to himself, I can do 20 emails. And at the end of the day, he had this thing called inbox zero. So write it down, inbox zero. There are two people that do inbox zero, Merlin Mann and David Allen, the guy that trained me. So when he got to this inbox zero, he felt so accomplished. He went, wow, I feel so productive and so on top of my game. He went home that night feeling really good, got in the next morning, there were 7 emails. He said, I can do 7 emails, and bashed them out. And what happened for him, this was back a while ago, I saw him the other day, it was 3 years. And I said, Dale, how was it? He said, never look back. He said, it's been absolutely amazing for his productivity, where he was able to get to inbox zero every single day. Why? It became a discipline for him. And the benefits for him were extraordinary. So how do you get to inbox zero? Well, the thing with inbox zero is the 4 Ds. Do, dump, delegate, and decide when. Write those down. Do, dump, delegate, and decide when. Do, dump, delegate, and decide when. So if an email comes in or a piece of paper comes up, let's do just the email for the moment. If an email comes in and you can do it within 2 minutes, then do it. Bless you.
Thank you.
If you can do it within 2 minutes, do it. If it's spam, dump it. If it's not yours and needs to be delegated to somebody else, then delegate it. And delegate it nicely. And if you can't do it now but need to do it later, then make an appointment for yourself and put it into your calendar so that it doesn't slip between the cracks. I'm going to do that one at 4:45. So at 4:45, I actually make a calendar appointment with myself, put it in there. I'm going to do this action at 4:45. And at 4:45, an alarm goes off and goes, you're going to do the action now, aren't you? And I went, yeah, I am, because I said I was going to do it, therefore I need to do it. So don't not do it, because you end up back in the quagmire of incompletions again.
Can I ask some questions here, Les?
Go, David.
I'm getting 500 emails in a day. Well, maybe it's an overstatement, but lots. There's lots of emails that are of relevance, you might say, but I'll look at that. Yet I need to look at that, but I'll look at it later. I don't have time to sort of go through it in detail now. But then something else comes in, and that's just as important. You finish up with all these things to do that you never get to.
Yep. So there's a couple of things with that. One is, if you are going to write down, I will get that later, make a calendar appointment with yourself to go to that folder and read it later. Otherwise, you end up with 10, 20, 40, 100, 400, 600 items in there that you never give yourself the time to read those things that may be of importance. That's number one. Number two is, that someone like yourself as a business owner needs help in curating what emails come through to you and what don't. So maybe Margaret can start to share your email and go, he doesn't need that one, he doesn't need that one, he doesn't need that one, I can do that one. So take some of the load off you in your own email. Now, you should have that relationship with Margaret and enabling you to get that done so that you're in a sharing perspective as opposed to, well, I can't open up my inbox to just anybody. Well, she isn't just anybody. So you need to allow the support to come in to get some of that email off your agenda. Does that make sense? Does that help?
Yeah, I guess it's almost like having a PA there that understands what your priorities are for this period of time.
That's correct.
So, I want to think, oh, yeah, well, here's half a dozen things that I need to focus on for the next planning period. Anything that doesn't fit into that.
That's right. And it's again today, it's like an email's come through and the deadline is 5 o'clock and she flags it for you. And the stuff to read later, because it's all about tax, it's all about accounting, you put it in a read later and you put a calendar event in your day that says, that's 4:45, go to that folder and read those things for the next 15 minutes or half an hour. You get rid of them in 10, then you've got time up your sleeve, but you've dictated that you will be doing that reading in that time frame. If some of the stuff you need to be across from a compliance perspective, you go, Margaret, can you read that and give me dot points so that I'm able to hit the dot points? And rather than spend half an hour, you spend 10 minutes reading her dot points of it rather than what you would take half an hour because you don't have the half an hour. Or you give it to Nikita and go, Nikita, I need you to take this white paper and summarize it so that we as a business can be up to date on what the compliance is with that legislature.
Well, we actually do some of that. So
yeah,
we do more of that. Can't we, Nikita?
Yes.
So they're your 4 Ds. It takes leadership and discipline, leadership and discipline, leadership and discipline to do this stuff. Why? Because it's leadership called I'm leading my own emails. No one else is leading my emails. And discipline called I'm going to be the leader, choose what this email is, whether it's a do, dump, delegate, decide when, and act on it. And the same with paperwork. As it comes across your desk, don't have it. It's like where it piles up and piles up and piles up. No, 4 Ds, do, dump, delegate, and decide when. All right, let's keep going. One of the other things that I put for a lot of people is a little piece at the end of their signature, and it states this. Please note that I'm not always at my desk and I only check my emails 2 to 3 times a day. Therefore, please expect a normal response within 24 to 48 hours. If the matter requires urgent attention, please contact myself or Margaret directly on the office number or my mobile. And that depends on the level with which you go to, or it can be just contact the office directly on this number. And it comes through to Margaret and she picks up the phone and she goes, yep. I'll get him onto it. I'll interrupt him. Totally understand. But the majority of them are not totally urgent. Most of them can wait. And what this does is it allows you to be in control of your email, not your email being in control of you. There is a thing called closing down your email client that you can do to work on the task at hand, rather than ping and ping and ping. And the interruption of the email is the interruption. So it takes you time to get back onto the task at hand, close the email client down, focus on the task, open the email client up, and check your emails. Close it back down, focus on the task. If you're checking your emails only 2, 3, 4 times a day. All right, and some on the back end. These are really quick. And in our last 15 minutes, these are really quick, short, to the point, but boy, are they powerful. And write these down as we go. The first one is handle each piece of paper only once. And you can put paper/email. So it's piece of paper or handle each email only once. Rather than pick it up and put it down, pick it up and put it down, pick it up and put it down, or for the emails cases, open it up, close it, open up, close it up, and don't close it because you're not making a decision. 4 Ds, do, dump, delegate, and decide when. Be the leader. Be the leader. Make a decision. Be assertive. Make stuff happen. Next one is don't use scraps of paper. David? Oh, you don't get out of it that easy, Nikita. But the thing with it is rather than a post-it note here and a post-it note there, you're saying that it's all over the place. If you are away from your desk, carry the old piece of the notebook that you can slot into the top pocket. So if you're a kinesthetic person and you want to write it down, you're on the phone with them, rather than having them on the phone and putting it into your phone, you put it in the little notebook and you're writing it down. So when you get back to your computer, you can transfer it either into a trusted system or into some sort of application. But don't use a post-it note here and a post-it note there and piece of paper here and back an envelope there and a napkin there. It's like it's all over the place. Am I against post-it notes? No, love post-it notes, but it needs to live not on your computer screen or on your desk. It needs to live in what, Nikita?
Your trusted system.
Good girl. I like it a lot. Pretty good. All right. So don't use scraps of paper. No, David. David. No, 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 no. Repeat
Right.
after me, David. No.
No.
No is the answer. Now, what's the question? So you love to give everybody everything. And I'm going, have the boundaries and set it up with Margaret and Nikita and the staff to go, there are boundaries in place. I need to focus on this and I cannot be disturbed. And I cannot be disturbed. And it's got to be house burning down, client missing a deadline in 1 hour for me to be disturbed. No is a very powerful tool. For example, Nikita, I'd love to be able to do that for you, but not right now is a very soft no. Not right now, but I can do it at 2. Can we get together at 2? Is that okay? She goes, yep, that's fine. That's a subtle no. In the office, you can start to have the terminology of, I can't do that right now. I'm working on my A's. Can we do it this afternoon? I'm working on my A's. I'm working on my A's. And people understand it because everyone will have seen the video. And you go, yep, I know what an A is. I know what a B is. And when you say you're working on an A, it must get done. Therefore, hey, have at it. Mine can wait. Nikita, you've got an A. David has an A. David comes over to you and says, I want you to do something, Nikita. And you go, David, I'm already working on this A and you're presenting me with this A. Which of them would you like me to work on? That's not your choice, Nikita. That's his choice. Because if his trumps yours, guess what? You'll dump yours and do his. But in you putting forward your A, he goes, oh, yeah, you're right. Yours is more important. I'll put mine onto somebody else. There is a negotiation with it. And I'm not saying say no to a client all the time. It's not a matter of coming off this call and going, oh, I can tell the clients to go jump. That's not the point I'm making. It's a boundary around having people come over the top and romp over your boundaries and you not getting any work done, David. Because we've had this discussion where you're very affable and you're very amenable to people's requests, and it takes you away from the task at hand. So sometimes, yeah, I can do that this afternoon, 2 o'clock, this afternoon, 3 o'clock. Margaret, when can I fit that in? 3 o'clock? Fabulous, 3 o'clock it is. But right now I've got to work on this because it needs to be done by 12 o'clock. Planning. Plan each day the day before. The last thing you do, Nikita, before you leave your office is plan tomorrow. What am I doing tomorrow? What do I need to handle? Because I always make the thing of planning each day the day before. So I look at the plan and go, oh no, David, we haven't organised the breakfast for tomorrow. And we've caught it today, as opposed to getting to tomorrow morning, 7 a.m. breakfast, and go, so where's the breakfast, David? And David goes, I thought you were organising the breakfast, Les. Well, no, I've never organised before. But yep, and we've got no breakfast. So planning each day the day before, I look at it and I go, did you order that breakfast, David? And he goes, yep, fabulous. Or no, I'll do it now. Or no, can you do it? Yes, I can. Plan each day the day before. Some of the hard conversations you need to have, it's good to plan it so you can go home and just think about what are the words I'm going to use, as opposed to getting to tomorrow and saying to yourself, oh, I wish I had given more thought to this conversation, this discussion, this file, this problem with the client. So planning each day the day before. I normally say last thing prior to leaving your desk at night, 4:45, 5:15, 46, whatever your leave time is, make sure that you do give yourself 15 minutes and do your planning. Don't trust your memory, write it down. So write that down. Don't trust your memory, write it down. Don't trust your memory, write it down. The shortest pencil is longer than the longest memory. The shortest pencil is longer than the longest memory. What that is you can write it down with a really short pencil. It's a whole lot easier because it gets into your trusted system. You don't have to remember it. It's just there, and it will remind you every time you flick on that page. As opposed to, oh yeah, I thought about that about 6 months ago and didn't do anything with it. That's a memory thing. Don't do that. Take it out of your memory, write it down, and put it in a place in your trusted system that you're constantly reviewing those sorts of things. And that's that data dump of taking it out of your head down onto paper, put that in a section of your trusted system that you can refer to occasionally to go, is there anything on that page that I can now bring into my day-to-day? Duke Ellington said, I don't need time, I need a deadline. So set deadlines for yourself. Now, you know you have your own deadlines. There's tax months, there are tax quarters, there's PAYG, there's end of year, there's all those sorts of things that are deadlines imposed on you. One of the reasons why you have incompletions is you have not set your own deadline. Now, I've got this thing called Get Back an Hour in Every Day. This book that I wrote it because I was sitting in a mentoring session and the woman said, you know, you've got enough material to write a book. And I went, no, I don't. My wife said, yes, you do. And David knows that we are in circles of people that when you put down a gauntlet like that, you don't walk away, you pick it up. In other words, what are you going to do about it, Les? And I went, well, in 12 months' time, I'll have a manuscript. And I got to work over that 12 months and I created the manuscript. So 12 months later, I had a manuscript. 6 months after that, I had a fully fledged book and it ended up on the Today Show. And you kind of go, wow, how did you do that? I set a deadline. So based on your own incompletions, do you have an opportunity to set your own deadlines and get some stuff done? I'm going to do that one by end of day. I'm going to do that one by the end of the week. I'm going to handle that by the weekend. It's now December the 1st. I'm going to handle that one by the 15th. Those sorts of deadlines. Set your own deadlines. Meetings. We are 7 minutes away from the finish of our meeting and we will finish on time. I'll finish on time and then we'll open it up to some questions and the like. But the meetings themselves, start your meetings on time, which we did today, finish the meetings on time. And as you come into a meeting, have an agenda that's put out in advance so that people can talk to the agenda items in the meeting. If you're going to go to a client site, then go with a set agenda emailed to them in advance. If it's not to a client site and it's over Zoom, then put the Zoom meeting into their calendar and put the agenda emailed to them so they can speak to the dot points on the agenda rather than, oh, it's around here somewhere. Oh, I don't have that information. No, have it so that they can speak to it. You've given them enough warning in advance. Desk management, organize your space. So the thing here is, how's your, Nikita's got a very big grin on her face. Is that something about your desk or yours, David?
Probably mine.
So the thing around desk management is focus on the task at hand and take the distractions away of everything else. You've got filing cabinets specifically for that reason. A good friend of mine, Justine, said, I'm getting rid of a filing cabinet. And I went, I'll have it. And I've got it right there. And it's just a swivel away. It's a swivel away. I put things in the filing cabinet. It's in the filing cabinet. Why? Because it takes all the mess off my desk. I've got about 6 things on my desk at the moment that I'm working on currently, and they'll all be filed away. Why? Because I get to focus on just one thing. So desk management. Keep your own agreements. David, the good book says, let your yes be yes and your no be no. Why? Because it's about keeping your agreements. If you say to a client that you're going to do something, you will keep that agreement. Why? Because you're a man of integrity. You too, Nikita. You're a woman of integrity. On the flip side is, if you say you're going to do it for yourself, keep that agreement as well. If you say you're going to clean up your desk, then clean up your desk. If you say you're going to get up at 6, get up at 6. If you're going to say you're going to let go of the television for a week, let go of the television for a week. If you say you're going to exercise every day for the week, then exercise every day. Keep your own agreements. Notice when you let yourself down by saying one thing and doing another. Because the more you keep on track with your own agreements, you build trust. The more trust you build, the more you get done. Therefore, you'll become more productive. Skills. Clean up from last week. The weekly review. I love this one. This is getting to the end of the week. And if you do it, Nikita, if you can do it on your own, do it on your own. So you actually take yourself through and go, what worked this week? Number 1, what didn't work this week? Number 2, and number 3 is, can I do anything different? Or if you're in the office, you can turn to somebody else and go, what worked for you this week? And they can ask you the same question. What didn't work this week? Ask the same question. And what are we doing differently next week? As a team, you can do a stand up. All right, team, we're about to walk out the door. What worked this week? What didn't work this week? What can we get them to do differently? It could be Friday morning, whatever it might be. We do it with ours. We'll go to a coffee shop and we'll go through each other's diary. What worked this week? What clients? What writing? Those sorts of things. She'll do the same with me. And then we'll go, what's coming up next week, the week after, in the coming weeks. So that's the weekly review. Part of the weekly review, I also have this dashboard for me, which gives me a real indication. Well, not only gives me an indication, but gives Mary an indication of what's happening in the business, because she's not at the next desk. She's actually in another room and she's doing her writing because she's a writer and author. So when I present this information at the end of the week, she can see what incomes come in, what the bank balances are, what's been invoiced, what are the outstanding invoices, what proposals I've put out, because without proposals, there's no business, what leads, what meetings are booked, what meetings are held, any PR, TV, podcasts, magazines, whatever, PR, trainings, mentoring, networking. As a snapshot of the business, it's really good. So Nikita, you can go, David, here's what I did this week. I did this, and this, according to the KPIs that we've set. So that he gets to see, are you on track? Mm-hmm. Or are you off track? Is there support you need? Because weekly, we can keep each other to our key KPIs, as opposed to you end up at the end of the year and going, oh, I was off. It doesn't work like that. So this is a weekly bringing people to account. And David does the same thing. You'll be able to do it with Margaret. Here's what's happening. Here's what worked. Here's what didn't work.
Actually, we haven't done it so much since COVID's been on, but we had a Monday morning meeting where we basically, part of what it was to report on activity from the previous week. The number of appointments, number of leads, some financial data, what appointments are on, all this sort of thing.
Now, David.
Yep.
The key with that is we're about to come up to the end of the hour, and that's more my agreement, not yours. But the key with that is COVID is COVID is COVID is COVID is COVID. It does not matter whether it's in person or over Zoom to get everyone together and go, okay, let's do the KPIs. Let's do this, let's do that, and run them through in a 5-minute, 10-minute, 15-minute, first thing Monday morning. That can still happen. It's just reintroducing that.
Yeah.
Perfect.
That's exactly right. Yeah.
As I said, I was going to finish at 11:30. It's 11:30. The adventure begins. So, Nikita, I told you I was going to finish. There may be questions, but also I'm going to also ask you from my side, what are the biggest things you've learned? So first of all, questions. Questions, comments, concerns, or arguments. Go ahead.
So I use an app to make notes, and I like to make notes of everything. And I have around hundreds of notes on my phone, but I never get back to them. So is there anything I should do to just go through them, or just delete all of them and start over?
It's the best question. I love that question. You ready? What have you got, an iPhone or an Android?
Android.
You got an Android. Set
Yes.
up what time would you normally finish work of a day? And when I say normal, is it a 6 o'clock, a 5:30, a 6:30? What's the end time that you would normally finish?
5.
Right, we're going to finish at 5. At 4:45, set an alarm on your phone that says, check your notes. And when it goes off, you check your notes every day.
Okay.
Every day. It's a reminder. It's the PA. It's the phone reminder that says, excuse me, Les, it's time for you to do this action. And you go, wow, thank you very much. And you do the action.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Anything else?
I'll just expand on that a little bit, because sometimes it's like client-related notes. So if, for example, Nikita wasn't here, one of us needs to be able to refer back to her notes to sort of complete the task or talk to the client or whatever. So do our notes need to be shared?
Yep. The key with notes that come up, all notes for clients need to be on file, number one. So there needs to be a line on a client file that says, Nikita, this date, this action to be done by X. So that if Nikita rings in and says, I can't make it because I'm ill, in fact, I'm throwing up, I won't be able to do any computer work today, the opportunity is for look at it and go, what are the 6, 10, 12 clients, and see the actions that come out of that client file that need to be done today. It should have an availability and ease with which you can just go, what are the actions they need to do? Asana is very much like that, where you can pick up the actions and go, what are the actions for this person in this particular day? Now, I'm not saying Asana is the be all and end all. I'm just saying that there needs to be a system with which you can pull up the actions for clients very easily. All right. Any other questions, Nikita?
Not that I can think of.
No, that's okay. Don't stress. David, questions, comments, concerns?
No, it's just a case of being disciplined, isn't it?
It is?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Nikita, what's the 3 biggest things you've got out of the training?
The first thing is that I need to use a trusted system to keep track of all my tasks that need to be done. And the second thing is I need to go through my emails and all my notes and just see which one I should be doing first and prioritize everything.
Nice.
And the third one is if I'm working on something and I get assigned another task, I need to see which one is more important and get that one done first.
Nice. Very good. Prioritization. Very, very good. Very good. Well done. Pat yourself on the back. Mr. Cooper, speak to me, oh wise man of Certum.
Yes, well, I need to get a nap and learn and utilise that. Don't use scraps of paper. Maybe just get a little thing and put it in my pocket.
Yep.
No
I'm
idea
gonna
how
stop you there.
that is. I mean, wherever I might be, you know, I haven't got a pen. Give me a piece of paper so I can take this note.
Yeah, so that's in your top pocket, but I wouldn't go to an app yet. I'd stick with paper-based. If you make a paper-based work, then stick with a paper-based, because we are not 21, you and I. And based on that, the writing is a whole lot better for us.
My only comment with that is sometimes, you know, you've got a whole list of things and they need to roll over to the next day. You don't want to have to write it all out the next day.
No, I get that a lot. So there's two things. There's the trusted system, there's the data dump, and all of your actions need to go on the data dump, and your daily plan needs to be taken from the data dump into the day of the actions that you know that you're going to get done. Not 40 things, because you know you're not going to get the 40 things done. And if you need to do 40 things, you then turn on the key to go, here's 20 for you, here's 20 for me. Why? Because they have to get done no matter what. And it's not all on your shoulders. Guys, drop everything apart from the fire extinguisher, because we need to get this done today. Otherwise, we're going to lose the business.
Yep.
Everyone just picks up an oar and starts to row. Why? Because that's what we do as a team. So when you data dump onto one page, and then you transfer 5 to 10 over onto your today to-do list. So you get those done, and there will be very seldom a transfer of the today into the next day.
Yep. Okay. And of course, desk management. I'm not going to show you my desk.
Oh, don't rush over there, Nikita, and have a look, because no doubt you will have seen it. And I think I've been in that office, so I understand it. And it's good, David. So it's a real discipline. It's a real thing of saying to Margaret, and if she's not there, then that's okay. But saying to somebody, I need help to get my desk done, and you just get it done. It's one of those things. I've got a client this afternoon, and it really is a thing of, I tasked him, you've got 7 days to clean your desk up, no matter what. Otherwise, the ceiling's going to fall in on you. So get it done. And no doubt he will have got it done, because I said it's the biggest thing for you in your business right now. And he's a partner in a firm. This isn't somebody that's paid by the hour. He's paid very handsomely. I said, do your desk. It will pay huge dividends.
Yep.
All right. Anything else, David?
Oh, they're the main ones.
Great. All right. Final words, Nikita. How was the training for you?
I realized some stuff that I didn't know I was doing wrong before, and I realized I need to make some changes, and I need to start implementing them as soon as possible.
Nice. Very good, because it is a discipline. It is a thing of, if these are the KPIs, these are my disciplines, these I need to get done, this is how I can get on top of it. And you just go, I'm taking control, I'm being the leader, I'm using the discipline, I will get stuff. David, I will get stuff done, oh mighty leader. And you just make stuff happen. Great, Nikita, it's great. And David?
So what was the question again?
The question was, comment on today, what it was like for you.
That's good recap. I mean, you know, we have done this before, but things are, it's good to recap and reevaluate and have some accountability.
Awesome. All right. So I might send you, Nikita, what's your email address?
It's N-I-K-H-I-J
N-I, yeah,
T-A
yeah,
J at certumaccountants.com.au.
J,
Yeah.
all right. I'll make sure that both of you get the list of incompletions as an audio, so you can take yourself through, take the time. It's like, I race through it, and you're not going to have the complete data dump and brain sweep out of your head onto paper. So give yourself the time. You just click on the link and it'll take you to the audio. And then as I say something like garage, push the pause button, write down what's in the garage, take 40 seconds on it, but take as long as you like. And then once you're ready, push the play button again, hear the next one, and then pause it and write it down. So you're actually literally taking everything out of your head as a trigger to do the data dump of what's on your mind at the time. And you may have gone, oh no, I've got everything. And I go, well, no, there's more in the audio. So do yourself a favor. I'll make sure you get that by the end of the day. All righty. Any final words, David?
No, not for me.
No problems. Nikita, anything else?
No.
Great. Well done, team. Good job.
Thank you,
Congratulations.
Les.
Go forward, create some success. I look forward to hearing the productivity improvements from both of you. And I'll be following up, David, because we, in fact, Nikita, if you can jump off, I'll talk to David about what we can do at some other things. Great.
All right.
See you
Thank
later.
you. See ya.
Bye.